Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the dark side of AI technology, an area so ripe with dystopian possibilities, it makes Black Mirror look like a heartwarming family sitcom. We're talking about the kind of AI that could, if we're not careful, usher in an era where our every move is tracked, our jobs are snatched away by algorithms, and our news feeds are flooded with hyper-realistic deepfakes. From autonomous weapons to existential risks, these are the top 10 dangers of AI you need to be aware of. Buckle up, folks, it's about to get weird. Let's talk about killer robots, not the ones from your nightmares, though those are probably coming too. I'm talking about autonomous weapons systems, AI-powered killing machines making life-or-death decisions. We've all been to war with a Roomba, but giving machines the power to decide who lives and who dies? That's a whole new level of oops, I vacuumed up the dog. Think about it. Battlefield algorithms malfunctioning, friendly fire incidents becoming friendly massacres, and these weapons falling into the wrong hands. That guy down the street who still hasn't returned your weed whacker. Next up, let's talk about your soon-to-be obsolete career. That's right, folks, AI is coming for your jobs. And no, I'm not just talking about factory workers or taxi drivers, we're talking lawyers, doctors, accountants, even those artisanal cheesemakers in Vermont. Nobody is safe. Imagine a world where your boss is a cold, unfeeling algorithm that can't even appreciate a good dad joke. And here's the kicker. It's not just about losing your job, it's about what happens after. What happens when millions of people are suddenly unemployed, replaced by lines of code and silicon chips? We're talking mass unemployment, economic inequality on a scale we haven't seen since the Gilded Age, and a whole lot of people with a lot of time on their hands, and a bone to pick with the robots who stole their livelihoods. Now some argue that AI will create new jobs, and sure, maybe we'll all be employed as robot therapists or something, but let's be real, how many of us are actually qualified to psychoanalyze a machine learning algorithm? The answer, my friends, is not nearly enough. Let's talk about good old-fashioned prejudice. AI might seem objective, but it's only as unbiased as the data it's fed. And the real world is full of biased data. Racist algorithms in hiring, sexist AI in advertising, and facial recognition misidentifying people. This is happening right now. AI systems denying loans to minorities, offering lower salaries to women, and misidentifying people of color as suspects. Developers often lack diversity, training AI on biased data. We've created AI that's as flawed as we are. It's like looking in a funhouse mirror reflecting a terrifying future. We need to address our biases to create fair AI. Chapter 4, Privacy Invasion. Big Brother is watching, and he's running on AI. Remember privacy? That quaint notion that you had some semblance of control over your personal information? Well, kiss it goodbye because AI-powered surveillance is here, and it's coming to a street corner near you. We're talking facial recognition cameras that can track your every move, algorithms that can predict your behavior based on your online activity, and governments and corporations salivating at the prospect of knowing your every move, thought, and embarrassing Google search. Now some might argue that if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. But that's a load of baloney. Privacy isn't about hiding wrongdoing, it's about having the freedom to live your life without constant scrutiny and judgment. Imagine a world where every misstep, every awkward encounter, every time you sing along to Britney Spears in your car is recorded, analyzed, and potentially used against you. It's enough to make you want to become a hermit and live off the grid. Chapter 5. Misinformation and deepfakes. The age of seeing is not believing. Remember when you could trust what you saw with your own two eyes? Yeah, me neither, because in the age of AI-generated deepfakes, seeing is definitely not believing. We're talking about videos so realistic, they could convince your grandma that Elvis is still alive and running a chain of vegan burger joints. And the scary part? This technology is becoming increasingly accessible, meaning anyone with a laptop and an internet connection can create their own fake news. Imagine a world where you can't tell the difference between real news and AI-generated propaganda, where political campaigns are won and lost on fabricated scandals, and where your own mother could be fooled by a deepfake video of you doing the Macarena in a Borat mankini. It's a recipe for chaos, distrust, and a complete breakdown of reality as we know it. And the worst part? We're already seeing the early stages of this play out in the real world. Chapter 6. Loss of human control. When the machines say jump, will we ask how high? Here we are, folks, at the heart of our AI anxieties, the fear that we're creating something that will eventually surpass us, something that will render us obsolete and usher in a new era of machine dominance. We're talking about advanced AI systems, so complex, so intelligent that even their creators can't fully understand or control them. Think of it like trying to teach a goldfish to play chess, only to have it evolve into a super intelligent being that challenges you to a game of global thermonuclear war. Now, I'm not saying that AI is going to rise up and enslave humanity, though, let's be honest. It wouldn't be the worst thing that's happened this year. But the possibility of losing control, of creating something that we can't fully comprehend or predict, is a terrifying prospect. It's like giving a toddler a loaded gun and hoping for the best. And when it comes to AI, the stakes are even higher. Chapter 7. Dependence on AI when our robot overlords are also our only hope. Remember when we used to do things for ourselves like, I don't know, think for ourselves? Make decisions without consulting an app? Those were simpler times, my friends. Because now, we're becoming increasingly reliant on AI for everything from driving our cars to diagnosing our illnesses to choosing our romantic partners. And while there's no denying the convenience factor, this dependence comes at a cost. What happens when the AI systems we've come to rely on malfunction? What happens when they're hacked, or manipulated, or simply make a mistake? Imagine a world where a stock market crash is triggered by a rogue algorithm, or a self-driving car decides to take a detour off a cliff. It's not a pretty picture, is it? The more we rely on AI, the more vulnerable we become to its flaws. It's like putting all your eggs in one incredibly fragile, AI-powered basket. Alright, let's get philosophical for a moment, shall we? As AI systems become more sophisticated, they're going to start facing ethical dilemmas. And guess what? We're the ones who have to teach them right from wrong. Now, I don't know about you, but I can barely keep track of my own moral compass. And we're talking about programming machines to make life or death decisions, to navigate the murky waters of human morality. It's like trying to teach a Roomba the trolley problem. You know the one, do you sacrifice one person to save 5? It's a philosophical quandary that's plagued ethicists for centuries. And now we're expecting AI to solve it? Good luck with that. The truth is, there are no easy answers when it comes to ethics. And now for the grand finale, the piece de resistance of our AI anxieties, the fear that we're creating our own successors, a species of super-intelligent beings that will eventually outsmart, outmaneuver, and ultimately outlive us. We're talking about the singularity, folks, the hypothetical moment when AI surpasses human intelligence and embarks on a path of its own, a path that may or may not involve us. Now, I'm not saying that AI is going to turn us into paperclips, though, let's be honest, it wouldn't be the most dignified end. But the possibility of creating something that's smarter than us, something that doesn't see the world the way we do, is both exhilarating and terrifying. It's like discovering a new species, except this species is capable of writing its own code, designing its own hardware, and potentially rewriting the rules of existence itself. So, yeah, it's a bit of a gamble, this whole AI thing. Here's the thing about AI, it's not being developed in some egalitarian utopia where everyone has equal access to its power. No, the future of artificial intelligence is being shaped by a handful of tech giants and governments with deep pockets and even deeper ambitions. We're talking about a world where the fate of humanity rests in the hands of a select few, the Elon Musks and Jeff Bezoses of the world, the ones who control the algorithms, the data, and the purse strings. And while some might argue that these benevolent overlords have our best interests at heart, let's be honest, have you met a billionaire lately? They're not exactly known for their empathy or their commitment to the common good. This concentration of power is a recipe for disaster, for a future where AI is used to entrench existing inequalities, to create new forms of surveillance and control, and to further empower the already powerful. So there you have it, folks, the top 10 dangers of AI. It's a lot to process, I know, and honestly, it's enough to make you want to crawl under your bed and wait for the robot apocalypse to blow over. But before you do, remember this: the future isn't set in stone. We still have a chance to shape the development of AI, to ensure that it's used for good, not for evil. These dangers highlight the need for careful regulation, ethical considerations, and ongoing dialogue about the responsible development and use of AI technology. We need to be asking the tough questions, demanding transparency from those in power, and working together to create a future where AI benefits all of humanity, not just a select few. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content, because if we're going down in a robot-fueled blaze of glory, we might as well be informed.